Joining us right now is Republican Congresswoman Lisa McClain of Michigan for much more on this. It's good to see you, Congresswoman. Thanks so much for being here. ICE going to San Francisco, and the former Speaker, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, now saying this: our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. What is your reaction to that? This seems to be different than what we've seen in terms of reaction with ICE operations and the such going into other Democratic-led cities.
Listen to what we're talking about. There's one party that is on the side of law and order, and there's the other side that's on the side of the criminals. Listen, we have a crime problem. We need to make the streets of all American cities safe. And I don't understand the Democrats or Nancy Pelosi and this group trying to track ICE agents to make sure they're doing their job. What about the neighborhood watch programs that we used to have that used to say, hey, here's criminal activity that you should be aware of in your area? It's just it's a contradiction here, a split screen, and I don't get it. Why aren't we all trying to make our streets safer for the American people? It's baffling to me.
We know that the president is focusing his efforts in Democratic-led cities and also in Democratic-led states, sending in the National Guard and ICE and other federal agents. Michigan has a Democratic governor, and Detroit has long been led by Democrats and is also one city that has the second highest rate of violent crime in 2024. Why hasn't the president sent in the Guard or federal agents to Detroit? Do you wish he would, given that it's so high on this list and what you just said?
Yeah, I don't know why the president hasn't, and my wish list is a little bit different. My wish is that people would come together for law and order and protect the law-abiding citizens in their communities. And that whether it's Democratic cities or Republican cities, if they need help and they can't clean up their city on their own, that they would ask for help. That would be my wish, so we wouldn't have to get into the situation of the president threatening to use the National Guard to clean up the cities. I would hope that we could all work together to make our cities safer for all American people.
In Detroit, and in your state, Detroit being one of those top cities. The president's plan now to cut beef prices by importing more from Argentina is getting big pushback from cattle ranchers, many in red states. I want to play for you a cattle rancher from Montana.
The cattle market is a free market and always has been. Consumers will tell us when the beef is too high. I think it's outlandish for the president to come out and say the beef is too high and he's going to get it down himself.
I was looking at your district, Congresswoman. You have beef farmers in your district. Is this a problem for you in your district? Are you hearing this? Is this a bad thing to be importing Argentinian beef?
Yeah, I mean, I think what the president is trying to do is strike a balance, and it's a very delicate balance between consumer prices, right, which we have to pay attention to because we're digging ourselves out of a hole from the last 4 years, right? We've got to bring consumer prices down, but we also have to strike that balance with the ranchers, especially the cattle ranchers, of which we do have in our district, to make sure that they don't go out of business. So it's a really delicate balance that he's trying to strike here.
Yeah, and the ranchers saying, like, you're selling us out, and free market, which is definitely a long-time core Republican principle, let the free market decide, not the government, is what the ranchers are saying here. I have a final question for you, as you're standing in the halls of Congress, but we are in, I think we're now in day 23, we're in day 20-something of the government shutdown. As far as my eye can see, nothing has changed from day 22 or day 15. But and when I say nothing has changed, is Democrats are blaming Republicans, Republicans are blaming Democrats for where we are. Democratic Congresswoman Catherine Clark sat down with Fox News' Chad Pergram, and he asked her if she thought that the public will perceive that Democrats are responsible in this shutdown. I want to play for you what she said.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Why is the statement from the Congresswoman talking about how bad a government shutdown is, why is that upsetting so many Republicans? I've seen response and push out and press release from so many.
Listen to what she said. I know Americans will suffer, but I need to use their suffering as leverage. You have a complete contradiction. The Democrats are going to let the American families suffer. They're going to let pregnant mothers and people who are on WIC not have food to use them as leverage? I mean, you have one party that's using the American people as leverage and the American people's suffering as leverage, and then you have Republicans that are actually trying to serve the American people. Are you kidding me? I think the American people are extremely upset about this. I can share with you the people in my community. They don't want their suffering to be used as leverage. And this is a political stunt. We put out a clean CR. No games, no gimmicks, no partisan wish list to continue to govern how government is supposed to work. And Catherine Clark wants to use suffering families as leverage. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Political reality is you do need to get Democrats on board in order to get it through the Senate when you just look at that math, and that is part of where this stands today. Congresswoman, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate your time. We will be inviting Catherine Clark on to respond as well. Sarah.